Hi everyone, I am Nicholas Parker and today I will be presenting on the case study Trust the Algorithm or Your Gut by Jeffrey Polzer. This is a fictional case study and it focuses on how management can use artificial intelligence to help make decisions and how people can handle working in a mixed human-machine environment. So we will dive right into the case study, and it starts by focusing on Aaliyah Jones, who is the Vice President of Sales and Marketing at Becker Birnbaum International, and her longtime colleague Anne Bank is leaving the company, and now Aaliyah must find a new marketing director for the cleaning division. After consulting with Human Resources, Aaliyah is left with two finalists, her protege, Molly Ashworth, and a rising star at BBI, Ed Yu. Aaliyah had already had a personal relationship with Molly. She respected her work. They both worked in the cleaning department. However, Ed's resume was introduced by Human Resources because he was recommended by a new state-of-the-art algorithm that the People Analytics department had been working on. So now Aaliyah is faced with the tough decision of whether she should trust her gut or the AI, and if she should hire Molly or Ed. I'll give a brief overview of both of the candidates, and I'll start with Ed. Ed revived the beauty group's 20-year-old fresh face makeup removal product line. He quickly was tapped as an employee with high potential. He was a bright guy. He knew the right people. He had moved up quickly in the company after graduating business school. And as I mentioned, he was introduced by Human Resources, Christine Jenkins specifically, who's the corporate vice president of Human Resources. Ed was recommended as a 96% match for the job by the new People Analytics system. However, Aaliyah still had to meet with Ed. And upon their meeting, Aaliyah found herself already comparing him to Molly. She found herself feeling biased towards Molly because she had known Molly. However, she proceeded with the interview, and it was obvious that Ed was a bright guy. He was looking for a new challenge. He provided sharp and clear answers to all of Aaliyah's questions. He had obviously done his homework. He was aware of the new subscription service that the cleaning division had implemented, and he was smart and ambitious. With all that being said, Aaliyah really did not sense an entrepreneurial mindset from Ed. She wasn't blown away by his interview. It could have been that he was nervous, or that's just how he was that day. He might have been a little disheveled from running late and nervous. However, Aaliyah was not thrilled with Ed's interview. So now we will move on to Aaliyah's interview of Molly. Molly had already spearheaded the new subscription service for BBI cleaning products that I had mentioned. It was an immensely successful service, and Aaliyah had mentored Molly throughout her time at BBI. The two had a very professional relationship, a good relationship, and Aaliyah was certain that Molly was ready for the challenge. And while Molly was not as high of a match on the People Analytics system, she was an 83% match, which is pretty good. So moving on to Molly's interview, Molly was interviewed right after Ed by Aaliyah, and the two met at their usual lunch spot, which once again made Aaliyah feel a little biased because she had already had a personal relationship. The two sat down and hugged. They talked about family. They talked about projects that were going on in the cleaning department. And once that was done, they ordered their food. They both ordered the same thing, and then they moved on to the interview. Molly was very polished and thoughtful in her response. She was self-aware. She demonstrated a deep knowledge of the business, and she had good ideas for collaborating across programs and building on the success of the subscription program. She was as polished and thoughtful as Ed, but she also seemed a little more warmer and just a little more self-aware, as I mentioned. And ultimately, Aaliyah felt that Molly had knocked the interview out of the park. She did a great job. She felt very confident. However, Aaliyah still had to consider Ed because he was a very bright guy as well. So Aaliyah felt like she needed to understand the algorithm more that had chosen Ed. So after both of these interviews, Aaliyah went and she met with Christine Jenkins, who was the vice president of Human Resources, to discuss this algorithm. Aaliyah quickly found out that it was developed by data scientists on the People Analytics team of HR, and it was meant to rely more on data and less on gut instinct. However, it should not be used in place of judgment. So Aaliyah still needed to make the decision on her own. And after learning how the algorithm analyzed people, Aaliyah learned that the algorithm analyzed Molly and Ed and their networks and who they've been in contact with across the firm. It looked at emails and calendars and saw that Ed was meeting with people much vaster network. He was meeting with people across BBI, while Molly was more so meeting with people in the cleaning division. However, Aaliyah did believe that there was bias baked into this algorithm. It also looked at resumes and performance reviews, and those items themselves have bias baked into them. And the data scientists could not 100% confidently say that it was an unbiased algorithm. Another key factor was that this algorithm showed Ed as a high flight risk of leaving, however, Molly not being a flight risk. Aaliyah refuted this, though, stating that if Molly were to not get this promotion, she would be crushed, and it might incentivize her to start looking for new opportunities in her professional life. At the end of this meeting, Aaliyah is left with a lot of unanswered questions. Christine Jenkins ultimately tells her that it is up to her to make the decision, but the algorithm is there to help, and the algorithm should be trusted, but it cannot be proven that it is unbiased. And the final thing that is important to understand with this decision is how bias affects decisions and how it affects AI. Now, IBM demonstrated that there are human biases that affect how we make decisions every day. There's about 180 of these human biases that are defined. Many of these biases find their way into AI systems that are designed by humans. IBM researchers develop ways to reduce bias in data sets and avoid discrimination. These researchers also devise a rating system that is relative to fairness of an AI system. These rating systems consider the system's level of bias when deciding whether to trust it or not. Additionally, it ensures that we can trust that our AI is acting in compliance with our values, and our values are the people that use it and made the AI. IBM pointed out that right now, none of these are free of bias. However, within 5 years, the most successful AI will be free of bias. With this being said, I think a recommendation can be made, and I think that Aaliyah should go with her gut and hire Molly. Without more information on the algorithm, Aaliyah really can't be sure that it is unbiased. As a matter of fact, after looking at what IBM said, it seems that the algorithm is 100% biased, because most algorithms aren't unbiased. There's not any unbiased algorithms right now. And the algorithm, furthermore, is a suggestion. It helps people make decisions based on data and analytics. It is not meant to replace human judgment. Only Aaliyah knows what she needs from a director of marketing, and Molly is in the position to be successful right now. Furthermore, at the end of the case study, a couple experts weighed in and they had the same opinion. The points were made that the burden of proof for the algorithm is high. There needs to be more proof. And there's a lack of information. There's a lack of transparency with this algorithm. That brings me to the final points that I think BBI and the steps that they could take to deploy the algorithm. First and foremost, BBI needs to give the algorithm time. As mentioned earlier by the IBM video, in about 5 years, there will be more unbiased AI. But as of right now, there is not. And also, the algorithm must be fully understood by all those who use the algorithm. When Christine Jenkins told Aaliyah that she just has to focus on her decision, I do not think that was a good answer, because Aaliyah was trying to understand the algorithm and was trying to make a conscious decision. But without the information she needs on the algorithm, she cannot make that decision. And BBI must prove that the algorithm works. They only have a tracked record of 3 decisions using the algorithm, and they were all recent. They have no way to tell if those decisions were a success or not. And they must make the results more robust and successful. They have to monitor the algorithm internally. They should hire a team of people to monitor the changes, and then they should also try and demonstrate the algorithm's reliability. By doing all these things, they will eventually demonstrate the reliability. If leaders can stay up to date on research and define fairness for the algorithm, then I believe that it'll help all people make decisions based on data and analytics rather than replacing human judgment. Thank you very much for your time. Here are my citations, and I hope you guys enjoy the rest of your weekend.